Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to have a chat about Lugia, and specifically, Lugia's typing in the Pokemon trading card game. Because I'm going to be honest with you, right? Something kind of weird has been going on in the Pokemon trading card game as it relates to Lugia. You see, Lugia is a psychic flying Pokemon. It is a legendary Pokemon that was the box art Pokemon for Pokemon Silver, and it is a flying psychic Pokemon. Now, most of the time in the Pokemon trading card game, this isn't an issue. The majority of Lugia that we get are colorless Pokemon. In fact, the last, probably like 5, 6 Lugia we've had are colorless Pokemon. The last 3 regular Lugia we got were in Team Up, a promo card, and in Fates Collide, and they were all colorless Pokemon, which is fine, of course, because Lugia is a flying Pokemon, and flying in the Pokemon trading card game comes around as colorless. Now, we've also had Lugia Break, which again was a colorless Pokemon. Remember that Break Pokemon are Pokemon that you put on top of other Pokemon, and it essentially adds an attack or an ability and gives more HP without changing the weakness resistance. It doesn't take away the old attacks, etc., etc. Cool. Okay. And in that period of time as well, we've also had 2 EX and 1 GX Lugia, all colorless. Now, we had the Lugia EX, the Plasma one, which was absolutely amazing. If you popped a Plasma Energy on there, you could discard it while doing 120 damage and taking an extra prize card due to Lugia's ability, which gave you an extra prize card if you knocked out a Pokemon. Cool. That was a really good Lugia, incidentally. And then we got the second Lugia EX, which wasn't quite as good, but it did do 20 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon, and it did do 150 damage while discarding a stadium if there was one in play. And then we got Lugia GX, the most recent Lugia, which came around in Lost Thunder, which again was alright. 3 colorless energy, 30 damage, plus 30 more for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. This was fine. And I suppose we should probably give a shout out to Shining Lugia, which did come around in Shining Legends, and again was an alright card. It's actually seen a fair bit of play. It does, 120 to a Pokemon with an ability for free energy. It's not a phenomenal card, but it saw a little bit of play in some Malamar decks, so we're alright with that. So, to recap then, if we include Shining Lugia, Lugia Break, both the EXs and the GX, that makes 8 colorless Lugia in a row. Now, if we go back to the last Psychic type Lugia we actually had, it came around as a promo card in Pop 5. It was in 2007, between March and September. Remember, the Pop promo packs were, you go to League, and when you play enough games, you get given a Pop pack, and it's got a couple of cards and an energy, and it's kind of random what's in there. Within the Pop series, there were 17 cards in Pop 5, one of which was a promo Lugia, which wasn't particularly amazing, if I'm honest with you, although it does have beautiful artwork by the lovely Mitsuhiro Arita, of whom I'm somewhat of a fan. We haven't had a Psychic-type Lugia for 12 years. Although, incidentally, as a little bit of a side note, back in 2005, we got this ridiculous promo Lugia, which had 300 HP and did 1,000 damage. And although there is text, the text reads, a shadowy aura is used to whip up a vicious tornado, doesn't actually add anything to the attack, it is flavor text. That was a pretty ridiculous attack. The point is, it's been a very long time since we got a Shadow Lugia. Now that in and of itself is not really cause for doing a video. There are plenty of Pokemon that go a very, very long time without getting one of their typings. We have just that's a lie. Japan has just got its first fighting type Steelix. We're going to be getting ours in Unified Mind. No, I don't think the half metal, half fighting type Mega Steelix that evolves from an entirely metal type Steelix counts. Just putting that out there. That is kind of newsworthy in and of itself, but what's really super weird here is that since we got our last Psychic Lugia, we've had 2 Water-type Lugia cards. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Lugia's not a Water-type Pokemon. The first time this happened was back in Heart Gold Soul Silver. And in Heart Gold Soul Silver, they introduced Legend cards. And one of them was Lugia Legend, the other one was Ho-Oh Legend. And ladies and gentlemen, these are among the most beautiful cards that we have ever seen in the Pokemon trading card game. They are absolutely stunning. But Lugia's not a Water-type Pokemon. Now, incidentally, the Lugia, it was never particularly good. 1 Fire, 1 Water, 1 Lightning Energy, 200 damage, and discard a Fire, a Water, and a Lightning Energy. During your turn, when you put Lugia into play, you may look at the top 5 cards of your deck and attach all energy cards you find there to Lugia Legend, discarding the other cards, which helped get it going. It was teched into a few decks. It wasn't complete and utter unplayable garbage, especially as 130 HP essentially basic Pokemon that only gave up 1 prize. Future Legends were pairs of Pokemon that gave up 2 prizes. Ho-Oh and Lugia back in Heart Gold Soul Silver were a single Pokemon each that only gave up a single prize. But it's a Water type. And look, being Water type is better than being a Colorless type generally, because Colorless Pokemon have no extra tricks, and Colorless Pokemon aren't hitting anything for weakness, so I get it, I do. But Lugia's not a Water type. We then went into Call of Legends, and there were 2 Water type Lugia. That's right. In the same set, we had 2 Lugia, neither of which was actually a typing that Lugia has. We had the regular Lugia, 100 HP, Water double Colorless, 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon, and then 5 energy, 80 damage. It was basically unplayable garbage, but it was still the wrong typing. And then we got the really rare Lugia, the shiny Lugia, though it was not called as such, which again, I mean, these cards came around in Shining Legends and they were very popular and they were quite hard to get. You didn't get many of them, you got like 1 or 2 in a box, and they ended up fetching a very high price. But to be clear, he's not a Water type. I might have said that once or twice. The card was unplayable garbage. Again, none of the Water type Lugia have been good. The Legend was the closest we ever got to a playable Water type Lugia. So we are left with the question of what's going on. I mean, if we look back at the history of the Lugia cards in the trading card game, in terms of proper cards that got released in English, we've only had 3 Psychic Lugia. 1 in Neo Revelation, a promo card, and 1 in EX Unseen Forces, as well as the Pop 5 card I showed you earlier. And we've had 3 Water-type Lugias. We've had almost as many Water as we've had Psychic. And to be fair, the last Water one we got was back in Call of Legends, which, alright, Call of Legends is getting on a bit now. It's 2011. But that's still 4 years more recently than the last Psychic type. Now, I don't have much of an answer for you here. I spend an awful lot of my time running around, looking at Pokemon cards, going down little rabbit holes, following threads, finding things that I find interesting. And I was just digging around various cards the other day. I ended up starting to look at the list of Lugia cards, and this jumped out as what's going on. It's very strange, ladies and gentlemen. If anybody out there does have an answer as to why this is, I would be delighted if you would let me know. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.